Nervous breakdown. The Auburn School Committee meeting for December 3rd, 2025. I'm calling this meeting to order. This is the Auburn School Committee meeting, and it's being recorded by the Auburn Cable Television. All are welcome to join us in person at 5 West Street. All supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the school website, and the public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. Thank you. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you.
The vision of the Auburn Public Schools is to educate and prepare students for the opportunities and challenges of a changing world. Our commitment: we will create, maintain, and support an environment that fosters a sense of belonging for all students in our schools, respecting race, color, sex, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity, homelessness, poverty, spoken language, and ability.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight? Seeing none, we will move on to special recognitions.
None this evening, Madam Chair.
Okay, seek approval for the minutes from November 19th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 11/19/2025.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't here. Student reps, we do not have tonight. Turn it over to you, Dr. Chamberlain, for the
Very
superintendent.
good, Madam Chair. We're going to join the rest of the leadership team to begin this evening with our budget, FY27 budget presentation.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here this late. We're early. It's 5:30 now. Stay there. That's good.
Good evening, everyone. Madam Chair, Vice Chair Dr. McCrillis, Ms. Wren, Ms. Rayfield, Ms. Parker, and, of course, our student rep, Piper Doan. I stand before you again, as I do each year, very proud to be in the role of superintendent for the Auburn Public Schools, and proud to stand with the folks seated behind me as all members of the leadership team. I believe, as I have said many times, right now we have this dream team that I am fortunate enough to work with, and I think they have helped guide the thinking through this budget. It has not been an easy one as we have looked at our situation and the funding that's currently available, but I am grateful for the support of all your support and their thoughtfulness in their process and the work that they do every day. So thank you to them. It's much appreciated. Oh. We have PowerPoint issues.
Oh, the mouse.
Yeah, okay, do I have to do the arrow over here?
Oh, yeah, you want to do that?
There we go. Yeah,
Need
those
the
buttons
mouse.
won't work. As is our practice when we begin talking about the schools, we begin with our vision and our commitment, a commitment that we reference, as you heard, at the start of every school committee meeting. Oh, no.
A lesson on birds.
It's a pretty bird picture.
You gonna run it for me?
Feel very relaxed.
Yes.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go on. This next slide is our strategic plan that's been in place for 2023 through 2026 and continues to be a working document that drives what we do every day. Soon, under new leadership, it will be your charge and the charge of the new superintendent to draft a new strategic plan, one that I hope ties to all the work that's gone on, because as you'll see throughout the course of this evening, we continue to work to row in the same direction. You should hear things that repeat themselves tonight, things that multiple people are doing. That's how you make good progress. But again, this is guiding the work that we do, and you'll see that throughout the budget presentation, there are going to be very few line item changes. We are sticking to the plan that's laid out by the strategic plan, understanding that financially, both the town and our community members and all of us need to count our pennies and watch what we spend. This next slide talks about the school committee priorities that we discussed several meetings ago, maintaining our appropriate and effective class sizes, continuing to focus on anti-bullying initiatives, trainings and resources, always the social emotional well-being of our kids, ensuring that our contractual obligations are met and that we respect our faculty, staff, and students, and we respect the financial support of the town that has been tried and true and ongoing for many years. So we've maintained our staffing levels. You will see that we've maintained our staffing levels to support our class size, but there will be some staffing reductions that we'll talk about in a few minutes. Again, trying to keep elementary classes at 25 or less and appropriate class sizes at middle and high school. We've used the October 1st enrollment numbers to guide this process. School-based materials and supplies have been nearly level funded across the board. There are no new positions reflected in this budget, and again, we continue to keep those people that help with the social and emotional well-being of our kids. I did just want to give you a brief look at our overall enrollment for a number of years. You will see that since 2018-19, there's been a small but steady decline in our enrollment. This is not just Auburn. This is across the state of Massachusetts, being attributed primarily to some demographic changes. Folks are getting a little bit older and fewer people are having kids. So this is not unusual here, but something that we have to take into consideration when we're talking about the budget. I also wanted to share our special education enrollment, which I did last year as well. We've seen almost a 9% increase in special education students since last year, and you'll see nearly a 50% increase since 2021, which is pretty significant. And what we're also finding is the level of needs of our students is greater. So students that are coming in now, as you know, my first couple of years, we had no one in a residential placement. We now have 2 students in a residential placement. We had to have an emergency removal this year of a student who just had to be placed in another setting. The level of need for a small population of kids is certainly exacerbating. So. Our instructional assistants and our ABAs, they're noted in their current assignments, though come springtime when we know how kids are moving, there will be changes there. We've level funded our grant monies using the FY26 amount for the 240 grant, the Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV, as far as using that in our offsets. We've projected our Medicaid reimbursement to be about $170,000. We are continuing to work on ways to increase the amount of Medicaid reimbursement we get every year. And so Caitlin and Carrie have had some training with some folks to see how we can benefit a little bit more from those funds. Circuit breaker reimbursement has been applied to our tuition costs, and busing application fees will be utilized to provide $200,000 from the revolving fund as an offset. We continue to use offsets from our revolving account, building rental, satellite, Galaxy, preschool, and athletic accounts. Right now, we have 74 kids in our school choice program. That was previously approved by you. Obviously, we get some funding through that. This year, this reflects the 7% increase in the AA transportation contract that was negotiated last year. We've accounted for an anticipated 5% increase in private school tuitions. That's typically what the Office of OSD asks us to do. And continue our staffing for those social and emotional and mental health positions. And we've reflected what we can for increases in electricity, fuel, and contracted services. All known contractual obligations for staff are noted in this budget. However, we will bargain with 3 bargaining units this year: the secretaries, custodians, and instructional assistants. So that's something that we have a reserve set aside for, but it is an unknown number. I won't go through and read all of the oil pricing, but we do collaborate with French River to do that. And we are hoping that potentially, is it gas? No, oil. That our oil pricing may be less in the coming year. Well, that's not been negotiated, so that would work to our benefit. But that's just we're still a little bit too early for that this year. And our rooftop arrays, we do get credits for those, even though I don't believe and I wasn't here when that was first put into place, that they've been as significant as we had hoped to help with our electricity costs. So projected offsets total $3,765,153. As we go through the presentations of each of the leadership team members, anything noted in yellow is a place where it has gone up from FY26 to 27. If it's noted highlighted in green, that means that there's been a decrease in that amount. You're certainly welcome to ask any questions along the way as the leadership members go through. I think you're going to see that there are really very few financial changes other than the contractual obligations that we're not going through each line item for people, right? They get their contractual increase. So do you have any questions for me before we move forward?
I just have one question about the anticipated increases for the special education private school tuitions. It's at 5%. I mean, is there a risk that it could be even more than 5%?
There's always that risk. They give us guidance from the state to say this is what you should anticipate, even though there's always some variance in that. So we go by and we've done that historically.
Okay. And has it ever come back as way higher than anticipated? Do you know?
Well, one year they did come back that it was then going to be 14%.
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah. All right.
It might have been, was it last year or the year before, the 14%?
Might have been.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a moving target then. Okay.
We continue to try and bring our students back so that we're not outplacing kids, but we've hit a situation where the needs of the children are just not in our wheelhouse for some of the kids we have. We do have a couple that we're continuing to work on to bring back, but in large part, many of the kids that are out just really would not be successful in Auburn.
Okay.
And through the chair, with that very high increase of special education, is that kids that have been in our district and these are new special ed needs, or are these like younger kids who are new to the district?
I think that's both. And so the kids that are new to the district aren't always the young ones, right? They come in at every grade level. So for instance, we had several this year at the high school level that were
Okay.
unexpected. And those are move-ins. In some cases, we're actually in the process of looking for local educational assignments because we're wondering if they're ours or someone else's based on when they came to us, because once they come after a certain time of the year, then we're not financially obligated. So we're still working through some of those issues right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I assume if it came back extremely high, we would tap into the stabilization? fund?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Great. Thank you. Thanks for
All right.
answering that.
Okay, I didn't realize this was before we move on, but I did want to touch on the staffing impact of this budget. And I had mentioned this at our last meeting, kind of giving you a heads up of what would be coming, but that we do have a foreign language teacher retirement at the high school that will not be filled. We have a foreign language retirement at the middle school that won't be filled. We have a potential still transfer of a teacher from the middle school to Swiss, which would allow for the elimination of a position. Swiss has 2 classroom teacher retirements. One will not be filled. The other one we've kept as a placeholder. I think I had discussed that we may need a 4th teacher at Bryn Mawr at the 2nd grade level. Next year, they'll only have 3 if we go with what they have now. And looking at the level of need there, we kept one of those in the budget. We're replacing the LPN at the preschool and the .4 float RN that was in the budget with a 1.0 RN. I know that seems a little contradictory, but if you put the LPN and the .4 together, hiring one RN is less money. And it saves us a lot when it comes to substitute nurses, which we continue to struggle to get on a regular basis, as well as coverage for the many field trips that take place, because in a lot of cases we have to send a nurse on a field trip. And if we don't have that extra person, even though we still already have a float, this will make a big difference for that. And we will decrease one of our EL tutors based on our enrollment of EL students at the primary level. So again, did we go? No, we did that one. Okay. So this is another big consideration. The reimbursement money that we received for the EL students that were at the shelter, this year all of that money will be gone. That was a substantial amount of funding that has been able to offset our budget for a couple of years. That money has to be used this year. We can't carry it forward any longer. So that is part of the reason for the increase to this budget. Again, our special education enrollment continues to rise. I think if you watch the news, there is great concern for funding for the IDEA, the 240 grant, and all of the title funding for next school year. If you recall this last summer, it was all delayed. It was held up by the federal government. It really put us behind the 8 ball to start the school year. This is a total unknown, but everyone is anxious about what will come through, if it will come through at the same level, if it will come through substantially less. or who knows, more. We don't know. So we've level funded that. We continue to monitor our student enrollment for staffing, right? So we have had years where we've gone down to 3 kindergarten classes. That was the case at Bryn Mawr, because our enrollment in that grade level, but we don't know that yet, right? Because we don't start our registration till probably the end of January, early February. And even then, it takes a few months for us to kind of have a good idea. Chapter 70 funding, which comes from the state, we won't know that till probably March to have any idea with what we're getting. There is a push at the state to increase the percentage reimbursement that we get through Chapter 70, but we don't know that. Our utilities, oil will be going out to bid, and again, our out-of-district placements, right? We had a second residential placement, and the increased level of need of some of our kids is really substantial. So a lot to think about. So now we get to the order of presentations. Each of the leadership team members will come up and kind of go through their piece of this budget. Feel free to ask questions at any time, and I'll kind of come up at the end and wrap up. But I thank you all for your ongoing support. Feel free to ask questions. We will have another meeting after this on December 17th. I know this will be a lot to kind of take in and think about tonight, but there'll be another chance on the 17th if you have additional questions. Before then, in January, it has to be voted on to go to the town. So there's a little bit of a buffer in between now and then. I will also tell you, we have to be so far ahead of the town. The town is having their budget kickoff meeting next Wednesday. They start a lot later than we do. We just have a lot more moving parts in our budget. So if there's anything else shared through that conversation that could influence things, I would certainly bring it back on the 19th. All right, we're going to kick off with Mrs. Stanek, Business Manager.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share some of our continued areas of focus for FY27 for the business office. I will continue to collaborate with central office staff and the leadership team to manage and allocate grant funding to supplement and offset our budget needs. I'm going to plan effectively with technology and facilities directors to maximize the use of our CIP funding. I will collaborate with Brianne Pulver to support food services. And as always, student safety is a top priority, and I will continue to work with AA Transportation, our crossing guards, and our school resource officers. The business office continues to be fully staffed with dedicated, knowledgeable, and very efficient employees who continue to update and streamline our practices. Some examples of our continued initiatives for cost savings and increased productivity include the use of DocuSign, FMX Facilities Program. ReadySub is now used for site manager scheduling. We're using Arbiter Pay for athletic officials as well as any of the workers at the games. We've expanded the use of the GoFan app for student activities as well as athletic admissions. We have automation of our purchase ordering so that our purchase orders are going now right directly to the vendors through email. We're working towards expanding the use of Unipay, and our employee self-service is providing electronic pay stubs, and we hope to move to electronic timesheets in the near future as we continue to work with the town. In my area of the budget, you are going to see changes to line items. You will see the annual increase in the transportation line, which is 7% from last year. For FY26, we were able to utilize $491,300 of the EL reimbursement funds for a transportation offset. However, these funds will not be available for FY27, and we will only be able to use $200,000 from bus revolving, and that will only be for next year. Typically, it is about $100,000 that we take in revenue. The annual increase in the salary reserve line is due to 3 contracts that need to be negotiated, along with all of the individual contracts and the longevity payments to the AEA, totaling approximately $250,000. I am not requesting any new positions at this time, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from anyone? No? Seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Keller.
Good evening, everyone. Well, many of the things that I'm going to be talking about tonight are things that you've heard me say regularly in a lot of my slide deck presentations, which I know you love. So, as you know, this year is the first year that we've integrated iReady at the K-8 level, a math program. That's not something that you just bring in once and walk away from. So we need continued support, professional development, working with teachers on implementing that. It's been highly successful thus far, and we look to continue that positive integration. And also, that we've worked really hard at the K-8 level on implementing a consistent writing program, so continued implementation of that, working with teachers and professional development in that area. We will look to deepen our inquiry and data analysis protocols at the pre-K through 12 level, expanding our culturally responsive practices throughout the district, which we've been engaged in for many years now. Speaking of engaged in many years, UDL is a term that we've talked about a long time, and it's something that we're very much committed to. And so continuing to deepen our knowledge around universal design for learning and strategies in the classrooms, in the schools. We have started a K-5 report card committee, task force looking at our current report card to see if there are opportunities for us to improve upon how we report out student progress. And so the hope is that next year we'll be implementing and supporting that new report card. We're on the verge of sending out a survey to parents about the report card. You've heard Mr. DeLongchamp, I believe, talk about, I know I've talked about it, I think he has as well, refining and establishing common assessments in grades 9 through 12. And one of the last major items looking forward to next year is continuing to expand our Tier 1 restorative practices and establish a Tier 3 restorative practices training. So those are some of the big initiatives that we're looking at from the teaching and learning aspect of my role as assistant superintendent. We do have a change to a line item in district-wide textbooks is going up $50,000. You may recall that iReady allowed us to carry over $50,000 into next year's budget. So that is reflected in that additional $50,000 there. Questions? All right. I will turn it over to Ms. Cox.
Thank you. I was hoping iReady would forget about that loan, but
Maybe. They haven't said anything recently.
just pretend.
Good evening, school committee. Over the rest of the school year and into next school year, I will be conducting a comprehensive review of the inclusion and co-taught classrooms both at the middle school and high school. To ensure the instructional practices, staffing, and student support align with our district's expectation for high-quality, inclusive education. In addition, I will be completing an in-depth review of the enterprise program at the high school level to assess its effectiveness, identify areas of growth, and determine how the program can continue to meet the diverse academic and social-emotional needs of our learners. To maintain strong communication and consistent oversight, I meet biweekly with the team chairs to discuss caseload, timelines, and any emerging issues related to service delivery or student support. These meetings helps us stay proactive and ensure that evaluation, IEP meetings, and service remains compliant and student-centered. Alongside this, we continue to refine and strengthen all therapeutic programs across the district with a focus on enhancing intervention models, improving consistency across schools, and expanding resources for students who require specialized support. Our district remains committed to collaborating with both Assabet Valley Collaborative and the Southern Worcester County Educational Collaborative. These partnerships provide critical programs and services that address the unique educational needs of Auburn students who benefit from specialized learning environments. As part of this commitment, I regularly visit and observe the out-of-district placements our students attend to ensure that each setting is appropriate, supportive, and aligned with our high standards of student growth. Finally, I am closely reviewing MCAS data with particularly attention to performance of students with disabilities. This analysis helps us identify instructional gaps, refine targeted intervention, and develop strategies to better support students in achieving academic success. Through these efforts, we continue to strengthen our special education program and promote positive outcomes for all our learners. So I have no new positions, but the changes in the line items is due to the increase in costs for next year for transportation and out-of-district placements. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for Carrie? No, seeing none. All right, thank you.
Good evening. First, I'd like to say thank you for having me here. This is the anniversary for me. It's been 1 year that I've been here in Auburn School District, so I'd like to thank Dr. Chamberlain for bringing me in here. It's been a lot of fun working with Jennifer. I'd like to thank Joe Fahey. He did a tremendous job this past year looking at what he's done to develop a very solid capital investment plan for the school system and a very strong maintenance budget has helped me in my work here. Also inheriting a great staff. I mean, I really can't thank them enough. My leads every single day do a tremendous amount of work to maintain the schools, not just on the custodial side, but doing maintenance work outside, checking the buildings, checking security and safety. That is our primary goal, is the safety of our students here in the town, making sure that they're okay when they come in, developing that for the administrative staff as well. Safety being a primary concern for us as we move forward into the 2027 fiscal year, we'll be using capital to improve our card access system and additional window film work, our energy improvements with rooftop units as part of our CIP plan. Currently, we are wrapping up the sinkhole project, as most of them refer to as the giant swimming pool. It's now covered. We got that one wrapped up. We're waiting for the engineering to review the final invoices for that, and then we'll take care of paying those. We completed a carpeting project and tile project over at Swiss over our Thanksgiving break, and we'll do some more over at Bryn Mawr over the Christmas holiday. Alan, which one do we want to press here? I don't want to get to the wrong one. Yep. There we go. We can see that the parking lot has been taken care of over at the at Swiss. Alan, was the shift up?
To the previous slide? Or?
Nope, go to the next one.
Okay.
Wow, getting a shock there, huh? This was just completed here. The tile work that went down is a new product for us. It's an upgrade from what has been used in the past. We've actually used it in the classroom. It does a really good job of absorbing sound. It's always a big factor for the students, is that if you go to the tile product, it tends to bounce it off the floor. But this new product they've had out has done a very good job. Susan's been very, very complimentary of it. I keep asking how the students do. It's been very well for us. I'm going to jump to the last slide. One of the maintenance concerns that we have that I'm working with the town with is the generators that are at our schools. I'm trying to figure out a path to get those under a good maintenance program. Right now, our thought process is the town wants to bring all of them in under one and go out to bid. We've had a few issues with them. We've been doing a lot of work on them. Luckily enough, we have our in-house electrician who does some of the work, but we do have some major problems that we're looking at for future. So the town is aware of what's going on, and we're working with them trying to get a full bid project together on that to go out. And sometime over the summer of 2027, we have some asphalt work we want to do up at the high school. As you can see, there's been some deterioration in the parking lot. My primary concern really being the concrete that brings the students into the school. We've had some substantial cracks. I look at that as a safety thing for us. That'll be done over the summer. I want to hold here on Eric's slide. We did work an awful lot this year as we talked about maintaining our maintenance budgets. We did look at level funding. We're not asking for more staff. Again, I reiterate that Joe's done a tremendous job. We always look to hold those numbers in check because we're a very unpredictable cost center in the facilities department. We try to take and look at what's going on, what's happening, and what's starting to fail, and how that relates to what we have as a CIP project, and put that together on that side so we do a bigger project and get that work taken care of so we have less problems in the future. Any questions?
Sorry, go ahead.
I do. I have actually one through the chair. So with these generators, is that at every school? That you want to redo the generators at every school, or which schools?
We're looking to get all of the generators into a maintenance program and tie that into what the town is doing. The town has 15 generators plus or minus. We have 5, so we want to try to wrap those in and get a full budget on those. Would be just a simple general maintenance plan where we have a professional company come in and do a review and give us an idea so we can better predict the future on what we need to do on repair work and get under a capital plan for us as opposed to as a regular maintenance plan.
I'm just because I know it's a lot of schools, and I'm just like, that sounds
Yes.
expensive. Okay, got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Nope.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Technology for next year. I've been doing this job a long time, and it seems to be getting more and more about things like AI and student data privacy, a lot less about wires and hardware, I got to tell you. And next year, as we look forward to it, that's going to continue. We have to start really addressing the AI issue in the room. Everybody's talking about AI. Auburn has taken a really slow and deliberate look at it and really haven't moved forward with it. We're starting to get some really good data and guidance from the Department of Ed, which is helping us kind of start to plan an initiative. We have access to it through our current Google account, which is a pretty safe and secure version of AI for students and staff to use, but we really need to dig into it and start addressing it on a more systematic level. It's going to take a long time. We probably won't finish that for a number of years because everything continues to move at a very, very rapid pace. We're going to continue to enhance the protections for student data privacy. With your help last year, we drafted some data privacy policies that we are implementing right now. I'm happy to say that currently we have 52 agreements with our software vendors on student data privacy, which means we have an understanding of what data they collect, how they use it, what happens to it when we stop using their programs, who they can and can't share it with. So all very, very important things, because our students' data and their identity is important to us, and we have to make sure that the programs we're using are equally dedicated to protecting it as we are. So that will continue. We have a lot more programs than 52. Every time we bring on a new program into the district now, we have to vet it. We have to get these agreements signed and approved so that we know that student data privacy is being respected. As always, we're always looking at our infrastructure, looking for ways that we can improve, upgrade what is getting old or obsolete. Especially the obsolete is becoming more important because when things become obsolete now, they become insecure. So when updates start happening, when hardware gets old, that's when doors are opened for hackers or bad actors to get in and do damage to things. So we're always looking at that. This year we were able to update our firewalls, which is a phenomenal initiative, something that really is at the forefront of protecting the district from outside people and outside threats. So we're always looking at those particular items, access points, those types of things as necessary. We're improving those. Unfortunately, yes, I have yellow lines. IT is tough. Most of our, I've said this last year, I'm sure you remember it, most of our software now is subscription based. The days of buying a piece of software and owning it for 6 years is over. Everything is subscription model. Everything goes up every single year. So we carefully go through all of our software every year, line by line, and make sure that it's something that we're using. When we're in doubt, we're checking records, making sure that we can see that there's usage. And if not, we get rid of things. But unfortunately, that computer software line is going to continue to increase. Everybody raises their subscription, I don't know, 3-5% every year. We do the best we can to keep the costs down. But unfortunately, it's going up. Computer maintenance services are service contracts for hardware that we have. Again, they're annual subscription-based service contracts. They go up every single year. There's very little we can do about it. That's service contracts on servers, on firewalls, on email scanning. So it's all very important to us, and we need to have it in place to keep everyone safe. And unfortunately, dues are going up as well for our necessary organizations we have to belong to. But those organizations bring us a lot of value in that they do a lot of training, a lot of cybersecurity work to make sure that we're at the forefront of what we need to know to keep the district safe. We are asking for no new positions. And yeah, any questions?
Any questions? Yes.
None.
Is AI blocked on the iPads?
AI is not allowed. It's hard.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
It's really, really difficult because AI is built and baked into so many things. So when you say AI, like it depends on exactly what you're talking about, and to most people, I don't think anyone. Many people can actually define AI the same as the person next to them. So we know our kids are using it, whether they're using it on our devices, on their phones, or whatever. We have to plan on how our teachers can build that into how they teach and understand that it is a part of the students' lives. You cannot ignore it. I'm old enough to remember when the World Wide Web was brought into place, and I was working in a school, and the arguments I'm hearing now against it are the same arguments I heard then, and they lost, and they're good. So the World Wide Web stayed, AI is staying. We have to know how to work with it, teach our kids how to use it effectively and ethically, and make sure that we can come to an understanding of where it fits in the district. So I don't like to block things if we don't have to. So anything else?
The chair, they're just going on their phones and then putting it over anyways.
Yeah, I mean, the phone policy has been great, and you see a lot less kids on phones, but once they're out of the building, there's only so much we can do, unfortunately.
Through the chair, I think that's part of the professional development, right, Alan? Is to AI. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's so monstrous, it's going to touch us all. I mean, Glenn's going to be talking about AI soon in his devices, and it's going to hit every part of what we do here. So,
All right.
all right.
Thank you. Sort of.
Sorry.
I'm a little taller.
Good evening. Thank you for welcoming me for another budget presentation this year. A lot of what I'm talking about, you've already heard actually from Mr. Keller, and we'll hear from Bryn Mawr School as well, as we're a sister school. So there's a lot of things that we have that are very similar. So we will continue, as Alan had said, empowering writers in iReady Math. Empowering Writers has been completely integrated into our curriculum this year, and we are seeing great improvements in our students' writing skills so far. And as Alan had said, our iReady Math curriculum has been up and running now since the start of the school year, and teachers have been very busy integrating it and going through professional development last year, as well as continued professional development this year. And then we always continue to have our UDL happening within the school, Universal Design for Learning, and social emotional learning is also an area of focus. We embed SEL into all of our practices at the pre-K to 3 level. There's so much that's embedded into the curriculum in regard to SEL, and those practices continue for us every day. Sorry, I'm going off script because I know it's so much of what other people are saying. And then the last part is implementation of a revised elementary report card for the 2026-2027 school year. The goal of the revision is threefold: to provide clearer communication of student progress. We want the report card to be a truly informative document that easily shows families exactly where their child excels and where they may need additional support. To ensure strong alignment with our standards and curriculum, the new report card will directly reflect the skills and knowledge taught in the classroom, making our reporting consistent and meaningful. And to support family-friendly reporting practices across all of our elementary schools, we want to ensure every family, regardless of the school the child attends, receives a clear, consistent, and easy to understand progress report. Ultimately, the revision is a crucial step in strengthening the partnership between our schools and our families by providing a better tool for tracking and celebrating student learning. And all of these initiatives reflect our ongoing commitment to student success, both academically and socially. As always, our goal is to support our students in becoming not only skilled learners, but also confident, compassionate individuals who are prepared for the challenges ahead. There are no changes in any of the line items for Packagug Elementary School. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions? No? Seeing
Right.
none? All
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I introduce Mrs. Brooke Beverly?
Good evening, everybody. We'll go with that. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening with you and the other district administrators and for your investment in the Auburn school community. A few moments ago, Ms. Carlson shared the initiatives from Packagug School, and our aligned focus areas are designed to foster high quality, engaging experiences for all Auburn students in kindergarten through grade 2. So, Boomer, we have a theme this year that's centered around flowers and, about nurturing student growth and blossoming as a school community. And part of our opening circle included a song by Andy Grammer, which is entitled How to Save a Life, which I feel kind of correlates to the powerful impact that teachers and staff have on the lives of students. Daily, educators provide that stability, that encouragement, that belief, often seeing our students' strengths long before our students even recognize that in themselves. It is through their patience, their compassion, and those countless small acts of support that our staff are creating those turning points to help our children grow, persevere, and thrive. And although our staff might not always hear our students, express that gratitude directly, our educators' influence reaches far beyond academics, building confidence, nurturing resilience, and shaping the students' lives long after the year that they've spent together. So as we present this budget, and we hope, we recognize that investing in our schools means investing in people that give hope, kind of create that opportunity and help Auburn students flourish. So, thank you as well to all of you for making an extraordinary difference each and every day. So my focus areas are listed up there on the slide. Our first focus area involves iReady Math. In year 2 implementation, the iReady curriculum will continue to provide our youngest learners with a strong and confident beginning in mathematics. Students build deep conceptual understandings rather than just memorizing those steps through engaging lessons, problem-solving routines, through talking out their thinking, showing their understanding of math through various different models or use of manipulatives. Assessments within this program are data-driven to identify strengths and provide support where needed so that every student can grow and flourish. Most importantly, iReady helps our learners develop the math fluency, curiosity, and the perseverance that set that foundation for long-term success in math. This area of focus strengthens not only skills, but also our students' belief in themselves as capable mathematicians. Our second focus area is tied to empowering writers. Strengthening writing in the kindergarten through second grade plants the roots for students to express their ideas, their voice, and their understanding of the world. Through the Empowering Writers program, our primary students receive clear, systematic instruction that helps them understand how writing works, step by step, with plenty of modeling and guided practice at our level. This approach not only builds the essential skills across all genres, but it also nurtures their confidence as young authors. By investing in writing at the K-2 level, we're giving children the tools to communicate with clarity, creativity, and purpose. And these skills are essential throughout their academic journey as they leave us, at Bryn Mawr and Packagug and head over to Swiss, the middle school, high school, and beyond. Our third focus area is linked to a sense of belonging. In our kindergarten, first and second grade classrooms, belonging is the heart of every child's success. By cultivating an inclusive, relationship-centered school community, we ensure that our youngest learners feel safe, valued, and connected from the moment that they walk in the door. Through restorative practices, buddy classrooms, PBIS, kindness initiatives, and strong family partnerships, we create environments where children learn to support one another, build empathy, and develop confidence to take risks. Bryn Mawr School trained an additional 8 staff members in the Tier 1 restorative justice training last summer. So at this time, the majority of our teaching staff has participated in that level 1 training. So as we look forward to next year, we look forward to kind of nourishing that work within our classroom community. And this work is a commitment to helping every child feel seen and cared for so that they can grow academically, socially, and emotionally. Students flourish when they feel like that they belong, nestled in our Bryn Mawr school community. Our final focus area involves implementing a new elementary report card. Under the leadership of Mr. Keller, an elementary report card committee has begun their work to revise a K-5 report card. Staff and student families have been created, and we'll be sharing those out sometime soon. We'll be examining report cards shared from other districts, and figuring out what will work best for Auburn stakeholders, for a rollout for the next school year. We hope that this initiative will take root across our schools and ultimately help students progress and achievements come into full bloom to make a clearer, more meaningful communication. At this time, I have no changes to my line items, and we remain level funded. Any questions that I can answer at this time?
You have any questions for Brooke?
Do you mind singing that song you were talking about?
What? I could play it on my phone for you, but listen to it. It has very meaningful lyrics. Look it up on YouTube as well because it has also a plant theme as well. If you're looking at the video that's here. I'm now going to turn it over to Dr. Susan Lopez, the principal over at Swanson Intermediate School.
Thank you.
New karaoke. Karaoke budget meeting.
Thank you. I feel like I should say ditto or that we're all rowing in the same direction, but thank you for the opportunity to share an update for our school's continued growth as we look forward to FY27. I'm definitely proud of the progress we've made this year and even more excited about where we're headed. Our work continues to center on 3 major areas: high-quality teaching and learning, student health and wellness, and of course, strong partnerships with our community and relationships. In teaching and learning, this year has been one of meaningful instructional growth, and we're building on that momentum. In literacy, our work with empowering writers has taken root in every grade level. Teachers really have embraced common language and instructional routines that give students a strong foundation for writing. In grade 3, for example, students are producing much stronger narrative drafts using the narrative diamond, and teachers have been able to differentiate more effectively, supporting students who need structure while pushing advanced writers with opportunities to elaborate, revise, and add craft. Next year, we look forward to refining this further with targeted small group lessons and more collaborative scoring to ensure consistency. In math, as you've heard, we have the full implementation of our new iReady math program. It's been a major accomplishment. Students are already demonstrating deeper conceptual understanding through hands-on modeling, guided discourse, and problem-solving tasks that mirror real-world thinking. Teachers have been intentional about applying UDL practices, providing multiple representations, offering choices in how students show their learning, and designing tasks that support all of our learners. In grade 4, for instance, we recently saw students use fraction tiles, number lines, and writing explanations to show equivalence, each in a way that made sense for them. As we move into FY27, our goal is to use iReady data more strategically to guide small group instruction and accelerate growth for all students. A major area of progress this year has been our partnership with Landmark Outreach. Teachers in both general education and special education are integrating language-based practices with increasing consistency. In grade 5, we've seen structured note-taking, explicit vocabulary routines, and preview and review strategies used not only in ELA, but across science and social studies as well. This alignment is reducing barriers for students with language-based needs and helping all students access content more successfully. Next year, we'll deepen this work by refining accommodations and continuing to embed these strategies across all curricular areas. We're also preparing for a significant shift, as you've heard, with the introduction of a new revised elementary report card. This new tool, we hope, will provide a clearer communication about student growth, stronger alignment with our curriculum standards, and a consistent family-friendly reporting system across all elementary schools. Moving on to health and wellness and safety, creating a school where students feel connected, valued, and safe remains central and center of our mission. This year, we continued expanding our use of restorative practices and circles, and results have been encouraging. Daily morning circles in many classrooms have helped students start the day grounded and connected. Teachers are also using restorative conversations, administration as well, to address conflicts, promoting accountability while also maintaining those relationships. We've seen fewer repeat issues on the playground and stronger problem-solving skills among students. In FY27, we plan to continue this work and integrate restorative approaches more formally into our behavioral support systems. We've also made some strides in increasing student leadership opportunities. In FY27, we're working towards establishing a student council. This will be new. We hope that this student leadership team can help us with grade 2 tours, organizing spirit days, and supporting school-wide kindness initiatives. In addition, our classroom jobs and buddy activities with younger grades have given all of our students a sense of ownership and responsibility. As we look ahead, we plan to broaden these opportunities by expanding peer mentoring, and creating leadership opportunities tied to, of course, service learning. Finally, with regards to community partnerships, our school continues to benefit from strong and growing partnerships with our local organizations and businesses. This year, we've expanded those connections in new ways. Our collaboration with the Auburn and the Worcester agencies and businesses have enhanced after-school enrichment and provide additional support for families who need it. The public library, the Auburn Police Department, the Auburn Fire Department continue to be amazing partners for supporting us through our shared initiatives. We also continue to seek and build partnerships for STEM enrichment, seeking out local engineers and other adults in our community, technology specialists to visit our classrooms and talk about coding, robotics, real-world problem solving. I think we had Glenn over earlier this year. You fall under all of those, I think, Mr. G. These interactions give students authentic experiences and broaden their understanding of the world beyond school. Looking forward to 27, we're eager to continue deepening these relationships, exploring opportunities with perhaps local museums, businesses, and community groups to bring more hands-on learning, field trips that don't cost so much, and career awareness activities for our students. In closing, we strive for continued improvement. I'm incredibly proud of the work happening at Swiss, from classroom instruction to developing student leaders and community engagement. Our teachers are committed, our students are thriving, they're so awesome, and our partnerships are strengthening. With your support, we look forward to continuing this momentum in FY27 and ensuring that every one of our children, every one of our little ones experience rigorous, inclusive, and a loving, joyful learning environment. As you can see, everything is level funded. I'm asking for no new positions, which I know is new for me. And thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of Swanson. Are there any questions that I might be able to answer?
Any questions?
Can I just say, I love the idea of the student council.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hoping it'll be a good one.
Is that going to start next year or?
We're starting. I'm going to get out that survey this year,
Let's
so I'm
do
hoping to
it.
get it going and start. I've met with my school council, and they have broached the idea of even starting 3rd grade, because then they have that experience. So by 5th grade, they're also mentoring the next generation of kids moving forward. So hoping to get that up and running in 26, and then.
And would it be election based like it is in
that
middle
I
school?
put that. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
True. Just in the baby stages.
Yeah, great.
Infantile.
Keep us posted.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'll introduce Mr. Carlson up to the mic.
Hello, good evening. I'm here to present the middle school budget. So I'm just going to go right ahead and say that this year we are not looking for any sort of increase. We're looking for level funding, and we're not looking to add any positions. Our plan is to keep doing more with what we already have. Our core work is going to continue to stay the same. We're deepening inclusive, high-impact instruction, making sure that every student is challenged and supported each and every day. We're expanding our UDL, our social emotional learning, and restorative practices, because we believe that having a safe, welcoming school isn't extra. It's just the foundation for everything that we do. And we're going to be strengthening our community partnerships. We're going to be working on our transitions from Swanson to the middle school and from the middle school to the high school, making sure that when they do leave AMS that they are truly ready for the high school experience. Some of the highlights that I do want to share from the past year and what we're going to continue to going forward is this past spring we brought back our career day, which was a huge success. We had over 40 local professionals giving our kids full morning of real world exposure to careers. We're looking to expand that program this year and get even more people in. Last year was really interesting because one of the students came up to me and said, I can't believe that we can have a job that you can safely blow things up. And it's, and I said, it turns out structural engineering is way more exciting than Fortnite. That would be zero cost to the district, just a lot of coffee for our volunteers. So that's something that we can do. The other thing that we're looking into is something I've been thought about for a very long time, and especially now that we have the MyPath lessons from iReady, the Empowering Writers, we have our SEL reflections, we even have those career day aha moments, is to put together, we're doing research into digital portfolios to figure out how we can compile all of that together. Basically I want you to think about it as like Marie Kondo for middle school data. Basically what sparks joy, we're going to put right in that portfolio so that they can have a body of work when they get out of here. When they graduate. So we're doing our homework this year. We want to launch that. We don't want to buy anything. We don't want to spend an extra dime on anything. If we pull it off, we'll finally answer the eternal question is, what did you do in school today? And you kids won't be able to say nothing. So they'll actually have a body of work for that. So same budget, better results. Our staff runs on caffeine, collaboration, and mild obsession for making our students achieve. None of this happens without any of those people in the building. Teachers, paraprofessionals, custodians, cafeterias, secretaries, and everybody in between. They show up every day. They work hard. They're giving up their time. They're working on their own to get these things done. And I honestly couldn't be more grateful to lead anybody. It's really been an honor and a privilege for me. And I just want to say thank you for your continued trust in me. And I'm happy to take any comments or suggestions or questions at this time. And right now, the current front runner for our portfolio is my teacher said I'm a legend, and here's the proof. That's what we're going to be calling that. So as of right now, unless you have a better idea. So are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Carlson?
I just want to know when you're going to get taped to a wall again.
I got to tell you, I think I have like a lifelong injury now. Being in there, yeah, my arm is killing me, but still to this day. We'll do something similar this year. Yeah, we did pies. There'll be tape. There'll be tape. Whatever. Yeah. We'll probably get inflatable bubbles at some point. We'll do something fun. So.
Well, you guys look like you have fun over there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we tried to, but that's something we brought in last year was more of that community building, and this year we're really turning it. Get everybody excited to be there, get them in the door, and now we're really turning. Bring that achievement level up. So that's really what we're focusing on right now.
Awesome.
You can do whatever you want, but we don't want workman comp.
No, never,
That.
Not me.
You get hurt, that's on you.
Oh yeah. I sign all the waivers. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I don't want to drop my stuff.
Awesome.
Is there any other questions?
No, that was great. Thank you.
I think we have Mr. DeLongchamp for Fine Arts. All right. Am I right? All right. Thank you very much.
It seems like I have the curse of following administrators with jokes, right?
I know, you better be funny.
I am not that funny. I'm so sorry, Jesse.
They do it to you every year, though. This is not new.
No, it's not. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for having me. I'm going to speak about our Fine Arts program first. As you can see, the first bullet is to further develop our extracurricular opportunities for exposure. We've had incredible success over the last couple of years with our fall play. If anybody here has had the opportunity to see it, the kids did an amazing job on the spelling bee this fall. It was so well done. Indoor percussion, and then with color guard. I'm very, very proud of our band, the amount of effort that they put in. You see them everywhere, whether it's their weekend competitions or at our football games. And they do an amazing job. Their preparations are first class. We have further increased student retention and enrollment across performing ensembles. And basically that just a lot of big words to say we are just trying to increase the size of our band and our chorus. There's a lot of good energy in the building. There's a lot of talented students. It's trying to find creative ways to get them into our band and chorus, while also, the opportunity that they experience with so many other areas as well. So, but that is a goal for us. New Auburn High School Chorus Unified Music will expand offerings for our Rise and Evolve students and for the community. That's absolutely just a magical class. Some of the things that Mrs. Bailey's been able to do with the kids has just been, it's a lot of Home Depot buckets going at one time, and you can hear them. I'm sure, Meg, you've heard them in the hallways.
Heard them, yeah. That's great.
But she's always looking for creative new ideas, and she just loves the kids. Introduction of a pop choir at Auburn High School to expand our chorus offerings. And I'm kind of excited about that because I don't always know the music. And it's nice to know some of the, I know, Piper, you're laughing at me, but it's nice to know as you walk down the hallway to see some of the things. I think it generates interest with the kids when they can actually sing to some of these songs that they're hearing on the radio. And increase the opportunity for students to use music technology to create, express, and engage with all the musical styles. So overall, I also want to mention within our fine arts program, they're constantly looking for elective courses to really grab the attention of our kids, whether it's a ceramics class or a guitar class or a learn to jam class. And kids are really participating. It's great to see, and kids are taking risks. I walked down the hallway one day, and there was 16 students playing a Taylor Swift song on a guitar. And I'm like, wow, it caught me off guard. And but they were enjoying it, and they were comfortable in the room where some people might not be so comfortable. So it's really, really nice to see. We have no new positions in our fine arts department. And in regards to change to line items, the only thing that you'd see is the reallocation of certain line items to better meet the needs of the department. But there's no change in money. Do you guys have any questions?
Just a comment, a little shout out for Ginny. I have a friend on Facebook, and she has been very open about the difference the color guard made for her son. Mm-hmm. And it's great to see this person flourish because of color guard.
Yep.
Gave him the confidence to go on to college and do that and everything. So it's just wonderful to see that the fine arts program is so supportive of our students.
And I'll share that message with Jen.
Yeah, please
So
do.
she'll be thrilled.
All right,
Thank you. Okay. So I'm also going to speak for Mr. Bigelow in our athletic department. And so in regards to our athletic department, his first bullet stems around athletic leadership. And I know this is a little bit redundant, and you heard me talk a little bit about this in the past, but it just goes more beyond wearing a captain's band on your wrist, teaching the students to be diplomats of Auburn when they travel to other schools. There was our new league that I spoke about, the Central Mass Athletic Conference. They did a fall workshop where we were able to bring students, the 33 schools were able to bring students together, where they heard a guest speaker. The focus was on leadership and what should we be looking for in our kids. And I think it goes a long way to starting the conversation. He's looking to do more within our building, just with our own athletes, as well as give them and share experiences with them outside of our school as well. So that's that first bullet. Increase the community partnership and investigate community service opportunities, Meet the Coach Night, and community fundraising opportunities. We experimented with Meet the Coach Night last spring. We had a lot of success with just opening the doors for families to come in to learn a little bit more about what the athletic programs entail. It's tough to get people out. You know, when we offer these evenings out, and people are so busy. We did have a pretty good number of people show up, and we were able to talk a little bit about our expectation of our athletes to from that to some of the MIA rules. And then they got the chance to talk to their, meet with their coaches and listen to some of their own expectations that their kids hear every day. So it's a nice evening, and he's trying to do a little bit more of that. So we've seen a lot of nice things so far. And then professional development opportunities for our coaching staff. Athletics is ever changing, and I think there's a certain level of expertise our coaches need to have in order to be able to work with our kids today. You just can't come in saying, hey, I like basketball, and become the basketball coach. And so finding opportunities for our coaches outside of the seasons to make sure that they're staying up to date with whatever's new, whether it be rules and rule changes to updated strategies to work with kids. So there is some yellow here. I'm sorry. It's not even my side of the budget. Athletics and transportation, as Jen mentioned earlier, you see that in fiscal year 26 it was 118,000 and it's 160,000. I do want to note that there's no change. We haven't added any sports. It's just the fact that just the transportation cost has just gone up. And then you have the MIA, and that should be the Central Mass Athletic Conference dues have just gone up. And that's just to be able to play in our tournaments, you have to be a part of the MIA. And certainly to be part of our Central Mass Athletic Conference, you have to be part of that group too as well. So that's where you see the little bit of a change there. Would you guys have any questions in regards to the athletic budget?
No.
No. A little more? Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So universal design for learning is very dear to me. I think it's the special education teacher in me. We have so many different types of learners, and it was so nice when this was introduced to us several years ago. And what we're trying to do is put continued focus and to remind teachers that they have different learners in the room, and there's different ways to do things. So we're going to continue to make this a priority. We talk about this almost in every faculty meeting, even for 5 to 10 minutes, where Dr. Verdella, who's our coach, will talk about highlights, new points, things that she's read, things that she's taken from other communities, and she shares that out with our staff. And I do find it to be helpful. We do see elements in various classrooms around the building. So it's a really good thing. And I think it's super supportive of our kids. Partnering with peer leaders, Students for Diversity, outside organizations to promote culturally responsive practices in the building. We want to make sure Auburn High School is inclusive for everyone. And that's really, really important. We're a diverse learning community, and we want to make sure that everyone feels like it's their school. So that there is specific attention to that. We have our peer leadership group. It's roughly like 25 students. And they continue to work with our freshman class. And I think they do a really nice job, and they're learning how to facilitate, how to have conversations. And it's while kids do listen to their peers, I think it's very, very challenging, and it's nice to see the work that they're putting in. And they have two fine advisors helping them out, both Miss Berrios and Miss Late, doing a great job with them. I also want to make note to we have a student advisory council. It's a wonderful group of 28 students. It continues to grow. And we're tackling all kinds of different issues that we see in our building. And it's very much student generated. We have a mission, goals, and so far we've had a lot of fun trying to make Auburn High School a better place for everybody. We utilize communities, our advisory groups, to build community, improve school culture, and foster the development of positive relationships. And this is where we're able to embed and integrate some of those SEL practices in our high school. We have a couple advisors who put together some very strong curriculum. We're able to meet with our kids every Wednesday. And I think the fact that our kids leave after 4 years, having that one common adult that's been with them all along, I just feel like that's such a positive for our kids. And that's a question that we often ask them when we're in meetings with them is, who is your adult in the building? You know, who is your go-to person? And it's oftentimes you hear it's their community person. So that's continuing to be a really positive element in our building, and I see a lot of good positive gains with that. We are collaborating with the Auburn Middle School to streamline our transition process, as Mr. Carlson mentioned, making sure that our 8th graders and our 9th graders, as they become 9th graders, are ready. And I think it's all together like one hand knowing what the other hand's doing. So we've set up vertical team meetings in the past, and we have one upcoming in December, which I'm really excited about. And so conversations stem around whether or not there's need for placement tests, to how do we figure out like what math class a student may belong when they go from 8th to 9th grade. So a lot of good conversations are happening. We have focused a lot about rigor and creating with our work with pre and post test assessments. I don't think rigor is giving more homework. I think rigor is taking a look at the assessments that we're giving and making sure that they're rich, that they incorporate problem solving, that they are challenging, but are meaningful. And I think that's always a challenge, because I think if we went around the room, everyone would give a different definition for rigor. So we do have a lot of conversation around that. My hope is that our pre and post assessments will really help us determine the type of growth that we're making in the school. And then the last one is, again, I feel like I talk about this all the time. Our cell phone policy, I feel like we've seen an amazing, miraculous growth and change. We don't see cell phones in our building at all anymore. We see increased student engagement. We are experiencing less social conflict. That does not mean there's no social conflict. We're working with teenagers in a high school, so I'd be foolish to say that, but we do see a lot of positive gains. And the kids have, my wildest imaginations, they've succumbed them. It's unreal. And it's nice to see in the morning when I come in, the different groups of kids talking and just how loud the cafeteria is. And at the same time, when we're doing a walkthrough of a classroom, just to see the engagement in the hands going up. So all good things are happening there, and we're going to continue to monitor the progress. We've surveyed families. We'll continue to survey families and students and staff throughout the year to make sure that this is something sustainable and makes sense.
Good.
So, perfect.
In regards to, I have no changes. The same thing as what I mentioned with fine arts. We do have some reallocation of certain line items to better meet the needs of some of our departments, but we've added no monies, and I have no new positions. And I'd be happy to take any questions. And again, I wanted to thank you for your support.
Any questions, comments? No?
Sorry, I know that was a lot too tonight, so thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for all of that. I appreciate it. And I just can't go on to final thoughts until I sit here, and this has happened several years now, and to sit in one evening and certainly not hear everything that's going on, but to hear so much of what's going on, it really brings me such great pride, and I hope it does for you too. When you hear some of the things that are going on and the content and the topics and the initiatives that are happening, whether it's from facilities or to curriculum, it just makes me so proud, and I hope it does for you as well. And I think what it also brings to light, sometimes public schools get a bad rap these days, right? But when you hear what's happening, and these are the leaders of this public school district. They represent so many teachers, staff members, custodians, cafeteria workers who bring the same level of passion to their work. So I hope that's been shared, and I'm going to steal a line from Brooke and what I heard, and I wish it was my tagline, right? What is this budget doing? It's investing in hope. We're investing in hope. And we don't take that lightly. We're not looking for all kind of frosting on the cake. We want what we need for these people to do the job they do every day, to help the teachers do the job they do every day, to help the support staff, to help on and on it goes, right? We all work together as one. So thank you again to all of you, because It really, he said, you look like a proud mother. I said, that's how I feel tonight. So we'll wrap up here. I know it's been a bit of a long evening, but again, we're presenting to you tonight a draft budget of $34,057,907. It's about almost a $1.4 million increase over last year. We have over close to $4 million, $3,765,153 in offsets, which equates to a 4.19% increase over last year's budget. I'm not going to touch it because I'm going to hit the wrong one. And again, we've worked to maintain our current positions. We've reflected the cost for electricity, fuel, contracted services. We're using offsets to the greatest degree we can. Same thing with grant funding. Chapter 70 money may change this a little bit. I suspect, much like last year, we will be back to you with a different version of this in eight or so weeks, based on what comes through the town and what we get to know from the state. But again, per town charter, we have to have a draft budget to the town by January 7th. So that's why we go through this process as early as we do. I think I have one more.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. And I do want to again express my gratitude for all of you, for what the town does for us, I should say, and we respect that. We know that funding a budget of this enormity is not a small task, and that it impacts real people's lives when it comes to what they pay for taxes in this town. So we don't forget that. But we also have to focus on the hope that our work brings. So I was going to change the quote because this is the one I used last year, but I come back to it every time, that history will judge us by the difference we make in the lives of everyday children. And what these folks do and what our staff does makes a difference in those lives. So we look for your support. Again, if you have any final questions, I'm happy to take them. But this is only first step in this budget process, so. Is there anything else we can do?
Any question?
I
Yes.
have a question through the chair. What, if the town does come back and says to us, we need to lower it? Do you have like a plan for where that's gonna go, where we're gonna cut? Because it seems like we're very level funded right now.
We are very level funded, and I will tell you that it will hit staffing. Without a doubt, I'm not sure there's any, I mean, the thing is that each of these schools, they have classroom supplies and, those kind of support costs. We could cut some of those. That cut's not going to make the difference that they would look for us to make. It's not going to shift by, a percentage or 0.2%. It's just not going to do that. The only place we make up that difference is with personnel, because we are very heavily personnel oriented.
Yeah.
And again, this particular year, and I want to make this point to the town, is that we are losing that funding that carried us for a few years, that EL funding. That very much made a difference. And, you get to the end of those things, and we're at that end. We used it to the best degree we could, and for the longest amount of time we could. We kept pushing it along, because really this year, most of those students are gone, but we were able to carry some of that because of overriding expenses. So I hope to make that point to the town when we meet as well. And then, Eric said it, right? Those software subscriptions, they continue to go up, and we can't, because they increase, we can't say, well, now we don't need the technology piece of iReady. Well, then we're completely diminishing the math program that we just purchased, so you have to pay for that. It's the same thing with empowering writers. That comes with the technology piece, and that goes up every year. We can't help that. Those are things that we just have to do, and I do believe that we got a great contract with AA Transportation, but when you're paying a lot of money for transportation, that goes up every year. 7% of a lot of money is a lot, right? We can't help that. But I will say, I would stand by anybody that would say anything that we were wasteful in our schools or that we had too much of anything. I just don't, you would be hard pressed to find it. What we have works for us, and we're very diligent about using our money wisely.
I agree.
Through the chair, can I say
Yes.
something?
Yep.
I really hope that people watch this meeting on YouTube and they see how you guys all spoke tonight, because I think it's really important that the Finance Committee sees it, the Board of Selectmen, town meeting members,
parents, citizens of this town, because it just shows how hard you guys work and how dedicated you are to be able to keep a budget like that without making any of the cuts that other towns are making. So I really hope people see that.
I'm glad you know, as I was sitting there, I was making this list where we were talking, we went from all the work that Glenn's doing around generators and Alan around professional development, card access, building safety, AI, curriculum, UDL, student growth, digital portfolios, student leadership, career days. There's a lot happening. And a lot of that is happening, you know, some of it's paid for, a lot of it's done because people are staying after school. Administrators are putting all kinds of time in the evenings, coming to school events, because that's what's good for our kids and what's good for our community. So, you know, things cost money, and right, we all wish they cost less. But we all know from our own budgets that's not the case, right? So I do hope for the support of the town, and I do hope as well that folks see this, because little old me and Mrs. Stanek, when we're at some of these meetings, don't have the impact when you hear everybody talking about really what's happening in our buildings and why we should be proud of public education, honestly.
Through the chair, if there's anything we can do to help coming to meetings, talking with them. I mean, I just think about the 2 5th grade classes who now want to be engineers. I mean, talk about making
An impact.
lemonade out of lemons, you know? I mean, I
No
can't think
swimming
of better
pool,
stuff.
but something good came out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we did put the asphalt over the swimming pool for the winter, so like, let's stick with that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Honestly, thank you. We are in debt to you guys.
For sure.
I want to piggyback on what you said, Beth. There's a lot of innovation that goes on behind the scenes with the staff and, like you said, the administrators. And I think that's taken for granted many times over. You know, the digital portfolios that you mentioned, that's just, what a great idea, you know, and that's all like free. It's free stuff that these people have thought of. And the student council, that's going to bring kids together, and all the student advisory groups at the high school, you know, that's 50 kids going out of their way working with other students to make other kids feel, you know, freshmen feel acclimated and whatnot. I feel like these kids are doing, and same with Piper here, you know, she's involved, and I think that's a testament to our staff and encouraging our students to get out there and do stuff. You know, Panos the other night helping us with the superintendent search. It's just a lot of great kids coming forward, and they're experts in these fields, and they've been taught well by their family as well as the staff that we have. So it's quite wonderful to see, and so thank you very much, all of you. Yeah, Eric, I don't know how you keep up with the technology either. I don't know. I mean, how big is our cloud? Like, it's probably you know. It's mind-boggling to me. But yeah, no, thank you very much for all you guys do. So.
If I could say one more thing, Madam Chair, in all of this, right, because we know that we're not perfect either. But what I think this demonstrates is that people are working awfully hard to support this community. And that this reflects that commitment to improvement. You heard it tonight. What people are trying to do to make our schools better. So again, right, no place is perfect. We can always do better, but boy, I do think we're making one heck of a run at doing it. So, and
Yeah.
we're trying hard, so.
And one more thing, the flower growing at the lower levels, that's amazing. You know, it brings in mental health and everything. I love it. And then a little shout out to Glenn there. And the commitment of Mr. Fahey still helping us, you know, that for free. That's just, and helping you, Glenn. And I'm glad you've been here a year, and hopefully we have many more years with you. But yeah, you've just done a great job. Everyone's going above and beyond.
Yeah, through the chair, even calling it sister schools, it just shows
Yeah.
what a family this whole district is and how amazing they all are. I mean, we had 4 kids helping us with superintendent search, confident enough not only to grill these poor people beforehand, but Google, let us know. And I just think it's amazing that our kids are coming out with that much confidence to do that. Showed a lot.
So, all right, everyone can go home now.
We're all free to go. Thank
That's
you
your
all very
thank you
much.
gift.
Sorry, Piper has something.
Oh, Piper.
Sorry, Piper.
Oh, sit down.
Piper has
Look
something
at the
to
power
say.
you have, Piper.
I know.
Not to get like sappy and everything, but after seeing what everyone here presented tonight, from a student point of view, I just want to say thank you so much. All my life, I never knew how hard you guys worked. I never knew that you put in countless hours making presentations and working with all these like insane numbers and just trying to make our schools a better place. So I just want to say thank you for making Auburn Schools a good place for me.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
All right, drop the mic.
I'm going calm now. Paper, that was awesome. Thank you very much.
That was great. Yeah. Piper, can they go now?
Oh, man.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Have a good night. Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Thanks.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, not bad.
Can I have this?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I brought this huge thing and forgot.
Okay. All right, where were we?
Business.
Ready.
Here we go.
Paper, that was awesome. Thank you so much for adding that.
That was beautiful.
Little icing on the cake.
And I love how you're able to get all those administrators to sit right back
They
down.
all sat down.
I literally was like, we got that on film. I can be part of your digital portfolio.
All right.
Right there.
This is what you did during school committee.
Okay, Madam Chair, in new business, really, all we have this evening, and this is just for your review, this is a compulsory part of being part of the Southern Worcester County Collaborative and the Assabet Valley Collaborative, that they regularly have to share out with you their reports. I will say that both organizations continue to be terrific to collaborate with. Southern Worcester County is the one that's closest to us, right? That's Grove School, and they're in Dudley, and that's primarily our go-to school for any kind of outplacements, but they also provide sometime professional development. They provide collaboration for our special education directors, and they're a highly skilled group. So again, this is really just sharing for your information, but we are required to do it and have it on agenda for you to take a look at their materials.
Okay. Any questions or comments, Dr. Chamberlain, about that? All right. So I guess that wraps you up, and we will move on to teaching and learning report. Mr. Keller.
Again.
Thank you. Actually, before I mention my agenda item, if you don't mind me just saying, I just wanted to touch on, I was going to say something, but then Piper had such a lovely comment, and I thought that was a good finishing moment for budget. But I just want to, all the things, all the compliments and the positive things that people have said, it all comes from our leader. So Dr. Chamberlain has, the themes you're hearing, the collaboration that you see amongst the administrators, and the drive toward excellence all stems from right here, and all the hard work that she does to pull together the budget. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. I know you all know that, but I wanted to say it.
Oh, thank you, Al.
And she loves it. Look at her. Loves that.
I felt like it was safer to do it here than over there.
I agree with that 100%. Thank you, Dr.
yes.
Chamberlain.
We will miss you next year. For sure.
You can still come back.
You can still stay.
So my agenda item is, it's a second reading. You recall on November 19th, I presented the first reading of a new policy, IKFE. That new policy is required of all Massachusetts school districts, resulting from the November 2024 ballot initiative that eliminated MCAS as the sole basis for meeting the state's competency determination. So you'll see a couple edits in this. First and foremost, I did include, after talking to Dr. Chamberlain, we did include the mention that a course grade above 65 is what is required for passing. So you'll see that in all the, when we break down by subject, so starting with English language arts, math, science, and history, I'm not sure what I would call that color, but in the red spectrum there, with a course grade above 65 is included in there, just to make sure that people know what the passing grade is. That's what's passing at the high school. The second item that you'll see on English and math is the consideration of a portfolio in addition to the subject matter assessment. So Ms. Parker mentioned that last time about the concern or question around a one-time assessment kind of being that piece. So just to make sure that people, I'm sure you understand this, but just in case somebody's tuning in for the first time. So what we're saying in this competency determination is that a student will achieve the competency determination if they pass the class with a course grade above 65. If they do not, then there's the option of the assessment or the portfolio. So that's where those pieces come in. So that's included under ELA and math. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, was Ms. Rayfield mentioned at the last meeting about our English learners. And looking at that, like feeling like case by case was just really difficult for those. And I hear that point, and I understand that point, and I've wrestled with it. Like our English learners come to us with such varied backgrounds and proficiency that it is, and I talked to Ms. Isgrove, Dr. Chamberlain, and I talked about it. I also was at a meeting of area assistant superintendents, and these are some of the conversations that we're all having and struggling with the competency determination. But feeling like at this time that it case by case makes the most sense, because I think you had mentioned the WIDA, which is an assessment that is given to English learners to see what kind of progress they're making. And that is a great tool, but it measures their skills around English language, but not around academic content. So feeling like continuing to look at this as a case-by-case basis, although it is not as clear-cut as we'd want it to be, it feels like it's the best thing that we have right now. So those are the things that I wanted to address from our last meeting and that I included in this second reading.
Okay, and is that going to third reading? Okay, so, any questions?
Yeah, on the 19th,
Yes.
17th, December 17th.
Okay. Steph?
I'm sorry. Through the chair, I just had one small thing.
Yeah.
So you have the assessment, the and/or portfolio. Do we have like a definition of what that needs to have? Like a portfolio would be very different for English than it would be for mathematics, right? I'm just looking at it from like the parent side of you need to pass this, you need to pass, like they're trying to help their kid get to the place.
Yeah.
You have a portfolio. Well, what is it, right? Like I can understand, if it was a resume, past writings, you need to write a 3-page paper or a conclusion, something. But like, is there like a little blurb where portfolio must include some of the following? Like just to give them where they can help focus their kids, right? Like this is the student has to do the work, right? But then just to kind of help guide them on the ship that we're all rowing together, right?
Yeah.
Where in English you need to have this, for the math portfolio you need to have these items, or pick 2 of these items, or whatever it is. This is coming, like, I'm not a school teacher, I understand what a portfolio is, I can Google it, but like, what does it mean for the English, right?
Yeah, so what it means is it exemplifies and covers those standards that the state says in our curriculum frameworks. It says that they need to meet these pieces. So the portfolio would be evidence of them meeting those grade level standards over the course. So whether it's the writing assignments or demonstrating.
For what they already did in the school year. So 9th grade, they wrote this many papers and whatever, so that's their portfolio to prove that they've passed 9th grade.
Yes.
All right.
And this is still a work in progress across the state.
Right.
So this is something, Mr. Keller has already worked with folks at the high school related to what might be considered a common assessment, right? And they're continuing to kind of work through that. It's going to be the same thing with the portfolios. Exactly what is this expectation that comes out of that? So I think that's part of the conversations with department chairs and the like at the high school. I will say that recently, December 1st, I think, there's a new graduation so this is another whole ball of wax from the state. And so that's going to take, and you're more versed in it, I think, than I, with what they're saying. I don't know if you want to give a little.
Yeah, sure.
'Cause I think some of what we're doing into the intermittent is going to tag on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was. It came out on Monday, an interim report from the Healy Driscoll administration. And so we're still diving into it. So this is the reimagining readiness. And so it's a statewide graduation council. I was on a webinar today.
Short read.
Yeah, and it's, I will say that there are some great things to this. I think it sounds really good and exciting. And I'll touch on a couple of them briefly if that makes sense. But, portfolio is a part of that. So basically what they're recommending, and again, this is an interim report. There's still work to be done. They're going to finalize this and hope to have that finalized in June about moving forward. Doesn't mean that next school year that this is going to be. They were very clear. Secretary Tutwiler was very clear that this is a long-term thing that they're looking at. But ultimately, making sure that every school has a rigorous program of study that aligns with MassCore. Demonstration of mastery, so students will participate in end-of-course assessments that are connected to select courses. So we don't know yet what those courses are going to be. At the webinar today, an example was Algebra 1, because that's really kind of a gateway course. So that would make sense that, and they would also talk about these end-of-course assessments being early on in a student's career, high school career, so that they can work through some of the things if that student struggles on that end-of-course assessment. They'll also complete a capstone or portfolio that will be defined by the state, designed by the state, and scored supposedly, although it says in here locally, they did mention today that would be scored by the state. So there are still a lot of things that are being worked out. They talked extensively about partnering. I think the word partner was used probably 24 times, partnering with districts and making sure that it doesn't feel like it's too big of a lift. Right now, we'll say that a lot of the reaction from me and people like me is, sounds great, but how are we going to do this? Who's going to do it? And how do we make sure that we implement it adequately? The other piece that I didn't mention, was, again, another great piece, but preparing for what's next. So making sure that students fill out a FAFSA or a MAFSA. Financial literacy will be part of this. And then I talked previously when we talked about our CTE policy with our career and technical education schools, the MyCap is something around making sure that all students develop a plan for what they're going to do beyond high school and how they're going to obtain some of those things. So every student will be required to have this MyCap plan, which is a career and academic plan. So
all of this, so what we're talking about with this policy is running in parallel with what the state is doing, right? And so seemingly along the way, there will be things shared, right, because long-term, what's going to happen is what the state says is going to happen.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
We know that's what's going to happen. But I think, I suspect that the information that's going to be shared out of this council is what's going to weave into what we're talking about here in the interim. And then ultimately, what comes out of this graduation council is what everyone's going to have to do. There's a lot of concern about it being another unfunded mandate. With many pieces that, like Alan says, seem to make sense for kids, but how does it actually happen in practice? Who makes sure every student has the MyCap? Who does decide what's in those portfolios?
Right.
Who's scoring it? How long does it take? When do they find it? We could go down a list of questions, an endless list of questions. So again, what we're talking about in here, there's still work that has to come to back all of this up in this policy, but we are required to have this policy in by December 31st.
So this is the first block in the building,
Correct, yes.
and we're just trying to get it as condensed and solid as we can, knowing that we're going to have to put many layers on.
yeah, so there will be legislation. Then again, what they talked about today. So this will be the new legislation that comes forward, and it may look different than what it looks like right now. But all they are they being the state and the group that's working on this want to make sure that there's a consistent standard across Massachusetts, because right now all of the districts are doing something a little bit different. That is required once MCAS was no longer a requirement for grade 10.
MCAS sounded way simpler.
I said the same thing.
Oh,
I said I never thought I would say that MCAS seemed simple.
Yeah.
But in light of all of this, it does, and it just came to me. Dr. Brunel, previous superintendent, used to always say they're building the plane as they're flying it. That's what this reminds me of, is
Very
that we're
much.
having to, we're having to fly that plane, but it's not quite built yet. And that's kind of where we're at in this process.
Through the chair, it seems like now it's going to be mini MCAS with a portfolio on top of it. I mean, it just doesn't sound like it's what the voters wanted, but,
Correct.
To each his own. Are they thinking of getting rid of the MCAS
Yeah, so-
across the board?
Not across the board. So that what they said today, and obviously there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of collaboration that they'll do with districts. But what they've said today is that when they make the move to end of course assessments, that they would phase out at that point they would phase out grade 10 MCAS.
But all the other little
All the
kids
others
still
will
have to do
continue.
the whole.
Yes.
And some of that is a federal mandate as well.
Okay.
So there is a federal mandate that we have some sort of standardized assessments in order to get federal funding.
Okay.
So there is, and that's again why part of this almost has to happen, because we want to get that federal money, and it does hinge somewhat on that.
But through the chair, it does sound like their goal is to put another test assessment into place, at least somewhat. It won't be a portfolio or a test. It will be a test.
But with the caveat, which I've heard Governor Healy say it multiple times, this assessment will not preclude anyone from graduating.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It will not preclude anyone from graduating. So that's how they're distinguishing
Oh, great.
these assessments from what the MCAS was.
The thing to think about that they need to think about still, because they did say that multiple times today, because they want to make sure they're not going against the will of the voters from November 2024. But the comment was, how do we make this? Because if something doesn't count for something, then why are we doing it, right? And so they still have to figure out what this is going to look like in terms of why would a student put forth effort on this end of course assessment if it isn't connected to anything? So that's still something that they talked about, and that there wasn't a clear answer yet on it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really complicated. And then you get back to like the accountability ratings that we've all gotten used to, and how does this all tie to that? And it's,
And how does the MCAS that the younger grades are taking, and then all of a sudden they take a whole different assessment? Might be a little hard too. There's a lot of moving pieces.
a lot of moving pieces.
I think the only thing I really love out of that is making the kids do their own FAFSA, because that is a nightmare.
Yes.
Like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Man, where was that last year?
Through the chair, financial literacy is
Yeah.
so important.
Well, yeah, that's like Ellen said, right?
Yeah.
In theory, there's a lot in here that sounds fantastic.
Give
but
us
in-
the funding to do it.
and the people, and
People,
yeah.
The
Which
finance.
I do
sorry.
like the idea of like a portfolio, like in comment to what you were saying, Steph, is that, I look at it from the teacher perspective of like, by the end of this grade, a student should be able to write a narrative piece, and then they just have to put that narrative piece and improve it. I like that because it's showing growth. So, they could, like hypothetically, if the state could figure out how to get around all this, they could do like, here's a narrative, let's continue to work on it up until a certain grade,
Yeah.
and then you start a new one and you continue to work on it, and then you show mastery. I think that's what the state is striving to do, is this mastery piece. But then I know that when Governor Healy came out and said, this is what we're gonna do, I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So when it came out, I think a lot of teachers are watching, like, how is this gonna work? So hopefully they'll figure it out. But I like this idea that you put forth, and I understand your concerns, and I appreciate you looking into the whole English language learners piece. But I like the idea of grade above 65 and/or, because then it allows a student who may not be a good test taker to still prove that they know what they're doing.
Thank you for all your work on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah.
Real simple.
All right, anything else?
I just had one other small piece, because this is, like you say, it is the bear that is the room here, the elephant. Is there a way that we can explain this? Because this is the piece, right? So we're going to do the third read. We look like we've got it pretty much what we know, right? This is the block. I just don't want it to scare the kids and their families, like, you have to have this, you have to have this. Do you know what I mean? Is there a way that we can simplify this so that parents can also understand, for those that might be in that window of needing a little more of a
explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah, a digestible version of this.
Right.
Yeah.
I just feel like I can understand it, and I have you, where if I go, I don't know what this means, you're going to explain it to me, right? But you can't do that for 500
Yeah.
and something
Yeah.
children that you have, pupils that you have, right? If there was the MCAS are gone, this is what's in place, this is the minimum standard, this is what is required for graduation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The highlight reel, if you will, the cliff note.
Yeah.
I
can work on a version of that. I mean,
because if this comes out, I just see the parents going, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? My son, he's going to hand in his work next week. I know he's behind. Like I see this piece of it.
Yeah, so this will be the policy, right, that goes as part of the school committee policies. But what we will do, I'll work with Mr. DeLongchamp and the department heads because it will ultimately go in the school handbook and the program
Because it's going in the
studies,
school handbook, the
yes.
parents are going to read this,
Yeah.
and then they're going to go, what does this mean
Yeah,
for
so we'll
my
make a
kid?
version of that.
I think moving forward too, they have incoming parent night like for ninth graders, which will be a great time to have more of that conversation. I think down the road, things like this will get built into syllabi, right? So that
Right.
kids understand what the expectations for the class are and that kind of thing.
Right.
So, yeah,
Because this
there's a
is
lot
so
of work
big.
yet
This
to do.
isn't just like English, you need a 65 and you need to be able to do this. Like
Right.
it's not, the words are simple, but the meaning behind it is like, this is a requirement for graduation.
Yes.
Let's get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
this
know.
has to be submitted December 31st, but not implemented until next year, right? Like, we're not going to just all of a sudden start, are we?
No, we are, yes, yeah. So this is class of 20, this is,
Giddy up.
The rug out
Yeah.
from underneath them.
Giddy up.
Okay. So you might want to come up with that simplified, digestible version quickly.
Mr. Bouvier explained, we have AI for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Copilot is going to be your friend on this, I think.
Okay, well,
More to come.
yeah, more to come, yeah.
Maybe we can do a follow-up in
Because
in
I
a few
think it's,
meetings about where it sits and what's been sent out and that kind of thing.
yeah, through the chair, I think with the changes that we made, I love it. It's where we need to be, right? Bombs are dropped from the, legislation of like, oh, by the way, you also have to read this manuscript and this is what we're going to do 2 days ago with snow, So I just want to make sure that we have it, it's good, we can grow with it
Yeah.
and build. But then for the parents that have the 11th graders and the 10th graders, they're going to be like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I just see that as,
Well, and we have
another
good faculty, too, that
lashing
are gonna
on
help
Facebook.
implement this.
And
Yeah.
I'm done being lashed on Facebook. So,
All right,
okay.
thank you all.
okay. That's a
Thank
work in
you.
progress.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Danik, you're on the hot seat now. You're in it.
Right, thank you, Madam
Move on.
Chair.
Business and
I have
financial.
provided a listing of the school department grants received as of November 14th, the 25-26 school year. The town requires annual acceptance by the school committee for all the grants received each year. So,
Yep.
Any discussion or questions?
Madam Chair, if I could just point out one thing. IDEA and Title I, I did talk about this in my budget presentation last year, that if for some reason we were not to get that money, if you look, one is $659,580, the other is $269,075. You're getting very close to $1 million. If that money were to not come through the federal government, we would be hard pressed to run this district. So just want people to know that out there, that has a huge impact on our overall budget.
So make your voices known to your local public officials. This is very
Through the chair, this is
ominous.
something, federal government is who gives us that.
Correct.
so-
That is the federal government. It is the federal government. But I want people to know.
That's a lot of
that
money.
it- And it hits real people.
Yeah,
And
it
it
does.
hits districts like ours across the state.
And through the chair, they should know. They should be aware of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that your vote matters and this is what happens, potentially, so.
Yeah, you're just shy of $1 million.
well, and if, through the chair, if you add up all of the federal grants there, because there's also the early childhood grant, all of these, the grant type is noted there, so all of those federal grants
Over $1 million.
are over $1 million.
Yeah.
And if,
1.1.
has there been rumblings of them? I mean, I hear, about the IDEA one now and then, but are they talking about eliminating all of these?
I think the hesitancy is what happened last year, where they withheld it, and then ultimately released it. But it was definitely withheld for several months beyond what it normally is.
Yep.
And then it caused a scramble for all of us because what happens is they release the money. Well, then the actual, like, Alan still has to apply for the grant. So it's a, what do I want to say? Not an allocated grant. Entitlement grant. So we're going to get the money, but we still have to tell them how we're going to spend it. So now he has to go through this whole grant writing process, which takes time. So we didn't get some of our Title I money till very late because once you get in the queue to get your grant, if you're not right at the beginning, it all takes time. So it impacted our whole budget. Now, ultimately, it all gets backfilled because we get the money. But just that holdup has everyone across the state skittish.
Through the chair, can I ask, with the changes with the Department of Ed and K through 12, going to Department of Labor and Department of Health for special education, we could potentially see shifts with that.
We could. They
right
say
there.
that there are a lot of folks now that are going to be in charge of this money that really don't understand what this money has been historically used for and how it has impacted children and families. And so, yeah, it's a scary time.
So through the chair, I think it's very important for people to watch this meeting so they can really see what goes into a budget.
Because I will tell you, if we lose $1 million, and I use that only because it's a round number, our budget is devastated. Devastated without a doubt.
Through the chair, this was a thing we got a letter about, right? Like, we had to
Yes.
state some, that was this
We were
funding.
supposed to sign
Yes,
some kind of
right.
loyalty,
Yes.
something.
I remember that from, that was about summer
And
break.
Massachusetts did not sign it, and we still got our funding, thankfully. So hopefully that will stay.
Excellent.
It's almost like they delayed the funding to see what would happen, kind of thing. So hopefully.
A lot of that.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay.
needs
All
a
right,
motion.
well, yeah, we need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the list of school department grants as presented for the 2025-2026 school year by the business manager.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's a vote, and we do not need executive session
We do not.
tonight. Thank you, Ms. Stanek, for that report. Let's take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.